The world's upside down, Deborah. The world's upside down. We cannot have, the government cannot be allowed to have British people homeless whilst paying hoteliers, corrupt, rapacious hoteliers, £200 a night to put up people that arrived illegally on the south coast, and put them up not for a week or for a long weekend, put them up indefinitely for years at £200 per person per night. We can't have that. It's an extraordinary tribute to the patience of the British people that there are not Ballymena type riots going on across Britain all the time. It shows the truth of what I've always said, that though racism exists in Britain, it's by no means the worst on the European continent, and if you think Britain's racist, you never lived in France. So, tribute to the British people. But enough is enough.
Starmer just got hit, and this time it was lethal. George Galloway went live and tore the lid off a secret the Labour Party never wanted the public to hear. No warning, no mercy, just a cold, hard revelation that shattered Starmer's carefully crafted image in seconds. What Galloway exposed wasn't politics as usual. It was personal, damning, and sent shockwaves straight through Westminster. Starmer's mask slipped, and now there's no putting it back on.
Put up in a hotel for years at £200 a night in public money. You cannot possibly tolerate that. It's astounding that it's been tolerated so far. But the fault lies not with the guy in the hotel. The fault lies with the politicians we elected that are allowing that system to continue, and continue over many years and different parties in government. Keir Starmer says he was going to smash the criminal gangs. When are they getting smashed, Keir? More likely you get smashed than you smashing the criminal gangs. It's intolerable for a variety of reasons, and money is only one of them. If you put a couple of hundred 20 and 30-year-old guys, single men, in a hotel, in a community, what do you think's going to happen next? Inevitable. I don't need to spell it out to you, especially as you're a lady.
British politics isn't just unsettled, it's unravelling, and the latest blow lands squarely on Keir Starmer. What began as a seemingly simple question about transparency has exploded into a full-blown scandal centred on 20,000 worth of luxury housing provided at no cost by a billionaire landlord with powerful ties. Starmer's defence that no taxpayer money was involved has only deepened suspicion. If the public didn't foot the bill, who did? And what was expected in return? This isn't some spare guest room. It's an 18 million penthouse in Covent Garden, glassy, towering and far from subtle. Reportedly used for campaign briefings, political plotting and party coordination, yet we're asked to believe it was merely a quiet space for his son's exams. That explanation hasn't landed, not with voters, not with critics. Because this isn't just about appearances, it's about influence. And when billionaires quietly foot the bill, the country asks, what's the real cost? Enter George Galloway, long branded a political outsider, who saw what Westminster refused to acknowledge. This wasn't generosity, it was access. He didn't just question the flat, he exposed the deeper pattern, revealing a politician living on favours from a billionaire with Labour ties, not charity leverage.
You know what's going to happen. 200 single guys in a hotel, in a community. The whole question of alcohol and drugs and girls and boys and crime, it's inevitable. And so, for the sake of social peace in our country, for the sake of the safety of the refugees themselves, we need a different solution to this, and we need it now, because the height of the summer is not yet upon us. And at the height of the summer, that 1,000 a day might become 1,500, might become 2,000 a day. And we never know when the straw that breaks the camel's.
This isn't just a scandal, it's a power audit. The allegation that Lord Wahid Ali, media titan and behind-the-scenes strategist, hasn't merely backed Labour with cash, but with influence strikes at the heart of political independence. We're not talking about the usual campaign donations, we're talking about shaping the story, guiding decisions, and scripting the message. And if that's true, Labour's independence is a myth. Suddenly, George Galloway isn't the outlier, he's the only one pulling back the curtain. As pressure mounted, Starmer finally stepped up, but instead of clarity, he delivered loopholes, insisting no taxpayer money was involved, a line so thin it snapped under scrutiny. Because this was never about who signed the cheque, it was about motive. Why would a billionaire bankroll a Prime Minister's inner circle, fund his lifestyle, and offer a political fortress just because? That question echoes through every newsroom and living room, and the silence around the answer is deafening.
For you, as if you thought the gravy train had hit the buffers. Well, it hasn't, ladies and gentlemen. More revelations from Keir Starmer. This morning he admits that he took £20,000 in donations from Lord Ali for accommodation for his 16-year-old son to study, in his words, peacefully for his GCSE exams. I presume this means that's part of the £20,000 that was racked up for using the apartment that Lord Ali has, £18 million apartment apparently, in Covent Garden, the Penthouse. Now, previously they said they used that for meetings. Previously they said Keir Starmer worked there on the night of the election. Previously they said that this was a place that he used to use for planning meetings during the election campaign. Now he's saying it was for his son to study peacefully for his GCSEs. Well, I don't know how much peaceful studying he was doing while they're all having a party on election night. Really? Seriously? Starmer said somebody offered me accommodation. Somebody, you mean Lord Ali, offered me accommodation where we could do that, and I took it up, and it was the right thing to do. No!
The latest scandal-shaking Westminster isn't just messy, it's radioactive, centred on a luxury Covent Garden penthouse, a billionaire with deep Labour ties, and a Prime Minister whose silence now speaks louder than any denial. Starmer faces the one thing no modern politician survives: a credibility collapse. This flat isn't a modest side apartment, it's an 18 million fortress of privilege, reportedly used for everything from campaign operations to strategy meetings. Yet Starmer insists it was merely a quiet study space for his son. That claim hasn't landed, not with the public, not with his own party, because in a country where millions are choosing between heating and eating, the idea of a billionaire covering the PM's rent, and perhaps much more, lands like a gut punch.
Of fact, he delayed as long as he could, and then beyond that which was acceptable to the parliamentary authorities, the depth, and I mean real depth, of his financial relationship with Lord Ali. No British Prime Minister has ever allowed a billionaire to buy his clothes, buy his glasses, buy his wife's clothes, put him up in a multi-million-pound penthouse apartment in Soho in London. No British Prime Minister has ever had the kind of financial relationship with the billionaire Lord Ali that Keir Starmer had.
Enter George Galloway, long dismissed as a loud fringe player, now the only one naming what others won't. This isn't about one apartment, it's about a power structure hiding behind wealth and access, and the public is connecting the dots faster than Downing Street can spin them. Galloway alleges what many fear. This wasn't just support, it was influence. Lord Wahid Ali, a media magnate with insider access, hasn't merely donated, he's helped shape Labour's messaging, operations, and possibly even its policy, resulting in a party that looks a little too comfortable, with elite backers pulling strings in the shadows. When Starmer finally broke his silence, it wasn't to clarify, it was to sidestep, insisting no public money was spent. But that's not the issue. The real question is what Ali got in return, because in politics, nothing is ever truly free.
Is now widely held in Britain to be screwing the entire country. That's what concerns me. And He is in an improper relationship with the gay Bangladeshi billionaire Lord Ali. That improper relationship is a financial one. Keir Starmer has accepted utterly inappropriate gifts and financial support from Lord Ali in the first instance without declaring it.
Parliamentary authorities had to intervene just to force disclosure, and even then the full scope of the arrangement remains blurred. The public still doesn't know how far this relationship goes or how long it's been happening. There are whispers about eyewear, wardrobe expenses and campaign perks, not gifts, favours. And those favours are starting to feel like currency. Within the Labour Party, the mood is shifting. MPs are stunned. Some unaware the arrangement existed, others reviewing their own records and bracing for a flood of revelations. The silence from the top isn't calming nerves, it's deepening them. This was the party that once claimed the moral high ground, the party of reform, and now grassroots activists who campaigned on transparency and fairness are left wondering if it was all just branding. As trust erodes, cracks widen, Reform UK is gaining traction, independents are rising in the polls, and Galloway, once written off, now finds himself centre stage speaking to voters who feel betrayed and ignored. Because the flat is just a symbol, the real scandal is what it represents: access over accountability. A system where the unelected can steer policy through backroom influence. Lord Ali isn't a passive donor. He's a power player, a strategist, and if reports are accurate, one of the key architects of Labour's digital and campaign machine.
Thing to do, you plonker. And then he goes, it didn't cost the taxpayer a penny. Well, that's all right then. I mean, who on earth thinks it's okay to take money from a lord who's loaded in order to put your child in an apartment that he owns so that he can study peacefully? What influence does Lord Ali have on this government? I keep asking the question, I keep getting no answers. Let's talk to...
No votes, no public role, yet potentially more influence than most MPs. That's the democratic crisis at hand. When billionaires can quietly shape agendas while the public gets only sound bites, the entire system begins to rot. Galloway isn't just challenging Starmer, he's putting the whole political class on notice, and voters are listening. Now every decision from Starmer's government is under fresh suspicion. Was that housing policy reversal a coincidence or a favour? Is Labour's climate stance about the planet or about pleasing investors? Even cabinet reshuffles are being viewed through a new lens: influence or merit. Starmer's refusal to offer real answers isn't just damaging, it's dangerous. Every moment of silence leaves more room for speculation, and in that vacuum, confidence doesn't just fade, it vanishes. In pubs, on social media, at dinner tables across Britain, a new question is surfacing: who really leads this government, Starmer or his backers? Because if this story is more than just poor judgment, if it's part of a pattern, then this isn't just another political stumble, it's the unraveling of a carefully crafted persona. The former prosecutor, the voice of reason, the one who promised to clean up after the chaos, now looking like just. Another polished figurehead who swapped sleaze for silence and transparency for influence. Inside Labour, tensions are rising. Some MPs feel ambushed, others fear they're next, and the party's once solid front is starting to crack under the weight of quiet anger and rising panic.
After telling everyone you're going to be different, you get into power and it's like, oh no, well, we can take money from rich donors. They can't, but we can, because it's different. My son can go and break laws and go and hang out in my mate's £1 million penthouse to revise for his GCSEs. It's his GCSEs, he only gets one chance. No, mate, you get resits. What about everyone else's kids who don't have rich donors to go and live in penthouses for? He has proven himself to be completely out of...
Meanwhile, the press is digging deeper. More details are surfacing, and the public appetite for answers is only growing, with Reform UK capitalising fast, turning this scandal into rocket fuel for their anti-establishment message. This isn't just a political rivalry anymore, it's a referendum on credibility, and Starmer is losing it. The issue is no longer confined to one donor, one flat, or even one party. It's a spotlight on a system where money whispers and politicians listen. where strategy is shaped in private residences, not party HQs, where influence is purchased, not earned. That's why Galloway's message is hitting harder than ever. He's not just calling out one scandal, he's calling out the framework. A culture that has allowed backroom deals and billionaire access to become the price of power.